Okay, kiddos, today we are going to talk about dividing when we're using exponents. So far we have talked about negative exponents to the power of 0. We've talked about multiplying with exponents. Now we're going to divide. And remember the other day I told you that I hated telling you the rule about to the power of 0 because I couldn't tell you why. Well, now I'm going to tell you why. The reason why anything to the power of 0 equals 1 is because of what we do with division. Okay? When we divide using exponents, what we actually do is we subtract the exponent. So when we are dividing, we treat that fraction bar like it's a great big subtraction sign and we subtract the exponent. So if I have this problem, a to the 5th over a to the 5th, well, y'all should know already by now that anything over itself equals 1. But here's the reason why. I have to subtract these exponents, and when I do that, 5 minus 5 is 0, which gives me a to the power of 0, and it equals 1. And the reason it equals 1 is because I have the same thing over itself. It's just like doing 1 over 1, or 8 over 8, or 15 over 15. Anything over itself equals 1. It's the same thing. And so this is the reason why anything to the power of 0 equals 1. It's because of our division property. So when dividing with exponents, you subtract the exponents, and then you have to remember all of your other rules, like if they are negative you have to move them and change so that they can become positive and all that other stuff. But so now we're going to practice with division. So this first one's pretty simple, and remember you must have like bases. If your bases are not the same, then you cannot use this rule. So this first one, I've got like bases, 3 and 3. I got 3 to the 8th and 3 to the 2nd, and I've got to subtract my exponents. Well, when I do 8 minus 2, that becomes 6, so this becomes 3 to the 6th. Now you could simplify this further by grabbing your calculator and asking it what 3 to the 6th equals, but for now we're just going to stop with that. We know that's 3 to the 6th. If I wanted to simplify further, I could actually use my calculator. Now part B here has got multiplication going on with division, but remember, if I don't have like bases, I can't use any of these rules. And so I can't do this 2 to the 3rd times this negative 3 to the 2nd because their bases are different. I got a 2 and a negative 3. I can, however, divide like bases. Remember, if you don't see an exponent on a number, there's that 1 there that you do not see, and so that's going to help when you're subtracting. So I'm going to do 2's with 2's, 3's with 3's, and 5's with 5's. And I know that this has a negative in front of it. The base is still a 3. This just has a negative, and so it will become negative when I divide it out. So when I do my 2's, I subtract 3 minus 1 is 2, so that's 2 squared. Then when I do my 3's, it's going to be negative because when I do a negative divided by a positive, that's what happens. And then when I subtract my exponents, 2 minus 4 makes it negative 2. And then when I do my 5's, I have 7 minus negative 5. 7 minus negative 5, like this. And remember that rule means leave, change, change. So this is really like saying 7 plus 5, so it becomes 5 to the 12th. Now this is not okay because I have a negative exponent in my answer. And so remember we talked about this. That means that we have to change it and move that negative exponent into the denominator to make a fraction. Positive stuff stays in the numerator, so I have 2 squared and 5 to the 12th over negative 3 squared. And you could simplify further, but 5 to the 12th is going to be a pretty big number, so we're just going to leave it just like that. So take just a second, pause, try C, and then come back and check your answer and see what you get.
Okay, now can you help me with them?
So hopefully when you did this, when you got x to the 2 minus 5 is negative 3, and you know you can't leave it like that, so you rewrote it as x to the 3rd. 1 over x to the 3rd, so that you have a positive exponent. Now part D here has coefficients and exponents. Remember right here, or pay attention right here to this rule. It says when you are dividing, you are supposed to subtract exponents. Nowhere does the rule say subtract coefficients. Do not subtract the coefficients. You're going to divide them or simplify the fraction just like always. Exponents are the only things you will subtract. So this negative 3 over 15, well, that is a fraction that will reduce. I can divide both of those by 3, so it becomes negative 1 over 5, and then I can deal with my x's. X to the, well, 7 minus 3 is 4, so it becomes x to the 4th, and if I don't want to write that 1, I can have negative x to the 4th over 5. That is simplified. So tomorrow you will practice this again. There is a very strong chance that your homework is going to combine the rules for dividing along with the rules for multiplying that you practiced in class today. So just be prepared for that. Make sure that you have all your notes. I will see you then.